بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه كما يحب ربنا ويرضى. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله الناصح الأمين. اللهم صل على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن تمسك بسنته إلى يوم الدين. ثم أما بعد. Alhamdulillah, we continue going over this tremendous book, Kitab Aqeedatut Tawheed, by the Allama Fadilat al-Shaykh Sheikh Salih al-Fawzan Hafidhahullah Ta'ala. Alhamdulillah, we have reached a tremendous chapter, and it is a reminder for those brothers who were present when we went over the class dealing with the categories of ibadah, or those who were present when we had the khutbah series dealing with the categories of ibadah. And it will be new to those who it is new for. But alhamdulillah, like this, the ilm, it is acquired through repetition, which is good. As Shaykh Uthaymeen, the great Imam rahimahullah ta'ala, he used to mention that when things are repeated, then they become memorized and firm. Now, when things are repeated, they become memorized and they become firm. Or any words that are similar to this in meaning. Ala kulli hal, we want to go over, as the Shaykh he brings as the next chapter, Al-Fasl Rabi', and it is the third section inside of this chapter, and it deals with al-ibadah. Al-ibadah, ma'nah, al-ibadah, ma'naha wa shumuluha. Ibadah, the meaning of it and that which it encompasses. The meaning of it and that which it encompasses. Right. Now, the Shaykh he says, وَالْمَعْنَى الْعِبَادَةِ, and the meaning of al-ibadah. And as we know, ibadah is generally translated as worship, right? But inshallah ta'ala, so as to help us in our efforts of learning the Arabic language, now that that's been established, that the meaning of ibadah, or the translation of ibadah, is worship, then that's that. Inshallah, we're going to, here on out, bi'ithnillahi ta'ala, if I remember, we're going to refer to it just as ibadah, no translation, right? And if I mess up and they slip up and translate it, remind me, don't translate it no more, we know what ibadah means. طيب. على كل حال العبادة أصل العبادة, the foundation of al-ibadah is التضلل والخضوع. It is التضلل والخضوع. It is to have humility and submissiveness. It's to have humility and submissiveness. This is the asl. This is the foundation of al-ibadah. Naam, is that it is humbled and it is subservient. Humble and subservient, or submissive, right? And the like. But this is the what? The asl of ibadah, the foundation of al-ibadah. Naam. So already from that standpoint, we begin to benefit when we look at the reality of al-ibadah, you begin to benefit. Because when he will see that being arrogant and haughty, right, it doesn't work. Doesn't work. Being arrogant doesn't work. To bring the ibadah, a person, he must be humble, he must be submissive to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in that submissiveness, this is why the believer, their statement is sami'na wa ata'na. We hear and we obey. That's a statement of the believer. Because a person submits himself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He humbles himself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A person, he's subservient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, we have to humble ourselves. And we know the contrary of the statement of the believer, the statement of the kuffar, and in general, the statement in general, and in specific, the statement of the Yahud. The Jew, what did they say? Sami'na wa a'sayna. We heard and we disobeyed. We heard and we disobeyed. Na'am. Ala kulli hal, we have to be humbled and we have to be submissive and submit ourselves to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وفي الشرع, inside of the legislation, the sharia of al-Islam, al-ibadah, the Shaykh hafidhahullah ta'ala, he mentions لها تعريف كثيرة ومعناها واحد. That ibadah, it has many definitions, meaning that there are many different wordings to express what is the definition of an ibadah. However, the meaning is one. The meaning is one. And this is important for us to understand as we learn, right? Is that there are going to be some things that may come in different wordings. The ulama, they may articulate them slightly different. However, the meaning will be one. Like here in this example of the definition of ibadah. You have different wordings, but the meaning is one. And this is important because sometimes the beginning student, they may read a particular book, and inside of that book they may come a definition bearing a specific wording. And then that beginning student will believe that that is the only wording of the definition. If you come to them with a slightly different wording, they will say, no, that's wrong. That's wrong, because I read in this book and it said it was like this. Now, and these particular things like this, then it's okay to have what? Different wordings, different ways of articulating it. Now, different ways of expressing the same concept, but the concept is one and the meaning is one. Now, I hate to mention and close that all the way. Inshallah. And it's important to know for the Talab al-Ilm. It's important to know for the Talab al-Ilm. The Shaykh, he says, Minha, and he begins to mention some of the definitions of ibadah. He begins to mention some of the definitions of ibadah. He says, and from those definitions, أن العبادة, that ibadah, هي طاعة الله. Here, ta'atullah. It is to be obedient to Allah. Alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. That ibadah, it is to be obedient to Allah. Naam, to be obedient to Allah. But this brings up a very important point. Because sometimes there may arise a situation where it may be said, obey Allah. Now, and the person may respond by saying, but I'm obedient. Right? Or there may be a situation where we may think about ourselves that we are obedient to Allah. So it's good to know what is the frame of reference. What does it mean to be obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How do we know if we're truly obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or not? The Shaykh Hafidhullah Ta'ala, he mentions, وَهِيَ طَاعَةُ اللَّهِ. It is to be obedient to Allah by what? بِامْتِثَالِ مَا أَمَرَ اللَّهُ بِهِ على ألسنة رسله. It is obedience to Allah, meaning by obeying and by, fulfilling and carrying out that which Allah has commanded on the tongues of His messengers. On the tongues of His messengers. That which His messengers, alayhimussalatu wassalam, they have conveyed to us. Then we have to what? Be compliant in following that out. And in specific, that which Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam has commanded us with, then we have to be obedient in carrying that out. And this is how we will be able to look and to weigh ourselves to see whether or not we are truly obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Naam. Because a man who was going against the commands of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, can this man truly claim to be obedient to Allah Jalla wa Ala? No, he cannot. Is the one who has infringed. But so it is a must that we fulfill that which Allah Ta'ala has commanded us to do. Ala kulli hal, this is a definition from the definitions of al-ibadah. This is one definition that the Shaykh he mentions. Remember that, inshallah ta'ala, because if we remember, we're going to ask you about it. وَمِنْهَا, another definition, أَنَّ الْعِبَادَةَ مَعْنَاهَا, that verily ibadah, the meaning of it is التَّظَلُّلُ لِلَّهِ سُبْحَانَهُ وَتَعَالَى. It is to be submissive to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And just as a reminder to those who came in slightly later, you tell me, what is the translation of the word al-ibadah? What's the translation? What is it? Again? Naam. Because we mentioned that we're not going to translate it. But just to make sure everybody knows the translation, then I have the students translate it. So another definition that they say that the meaning of an ibadah is at-tadhallu lillah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is to submit oneself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to be humble to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Naam. And what this means, the Shaykh he says, فَهِيَ غَايَةُ ظُلْ لِلَّهِ تَعَالَى مَعَ غَايَةُ حُبِّهِ. Then it is to have a submissiveness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the epitome of submissiveness, and to have a love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the epitome of love. To be submissive to Allah to the full extent of submissiveness, and to have a love for Allah to the full extent of love. Naam. And this is what it means to, this is what al-ibadah it means. Bayyib? That's the second definition. That's the second definition. Khair. And then the Shaykh Hafidhullah Ta'ala, he mentions that وَالتَّعْرِيفُ الْجَامِعُ, and the definition that comprises, that is comprehensive. There's a comprehensive definition. And that definition, it is that which Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah he mentioned for al-ibadah. وهو أن العبادة اسم جامع لكل ما يحبه الله ويرضاه من الأقوال والأعمال الظاهرة والباطنة. Then al-ibadah is a comprehensive word that incorporates and includes everything that Allah loves and is pleased with. from statements and from actions, that which is apparent and that which is hidden, from those external and internal statements and actions. Now, so everything that Allah loves and that Allah is pleased with, from statements and actions, those which are external and internal. Those which are external and internal. Now, a person, he may say, what does that mean, external and internal? What does that refer to? Because this gives us an understanding that there are some aspects of ibadah that can be seen by other human beings, and then there are other aspects of ibadah that human beings, they can't see. They can't see them. They don't know about them because they happen in a place where they can't see. طيب. The Shaykh, he says, وهي مقتصمة على القلب واللسان والجوارح. That ibadah, it's how would you say? That ibadah, it will be dispersed, or it breaks down, right, upon the heart, the tongue, and the limbs. Meaning that ibadah, you will find that it will be expressed by the heart, the tongue, and the limbs. The heart, the tongue, and the limbs. Now, ibadah, it will be expressed by the heart, the tongue, and the limbs. It's very important. Very important to understand that. Now, because we're talking about what? Al-ibadah. Now, pop quiz. How many definitions were mentioned for ibadah?
3.
Meaning shar'an. Shar'an. How many was mentioned? 3. What was the second one?
Comprehensive word that entails all that Allah is pleased with, which is good.
No, that was the third one. Huh?
Total humbleness.
To be submissive and be okay. What does that mean though? How? Huh? The full love to the epitome of love and the what?
Submissiveness.
Naam, and submissive to the full extent of submissiveness. Naam. Jade. What about the first one?
To be obedient to Allah.
To be obedient to Allah. How? Fulfilling.
Carry out what the messenger conveyed.
Naam, to carry out what the messengers conveyed. And by what? By implementing it, hearing and obeying. Naam. What about the third one? Is what our brother Hilahi mentioned, which was what?
Comprehensive word that entails all that Allah is pleased with, of the limbs and action
And
Outwardly and inwardly.
statements.
Statements.
Now,
The hidden and apparent.
now, the hidden and the apparent. Like, who mentioned that? Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah. Now, طيب. So the Shaykh, he mentions that the ibadah is going to be expressed by 3 things. What are those 3 things? The heart, tongue, and the limbs. Now, the Shaykh, he mentions and he brings some examples, right? He brings some examples. He said, وَالْخَوْفُ وَالرَّجَاءُ وَالْمُحَبَّةُ وَالتَّوَكُّلُ وَالرَّغْبَةُ وَالرَّهْبَةُ عِبَادَةٌ قَلْبِيَّةٌ. So you have ibadah, right? So I want you to put this in, what do you say, like bullet, or what, not bullet points, but to write ibadah qalbiyya. The ibadah that is qalbiyya. Naam, so as a ibadah, qalbiyya. Qalbiyya. Naam, and qalbiyya is spelled how you think it sounds. Well, in Arabic, this is the proper spelling in Arabic. I was talking about the English. The English is spelled like you think it sounds. When inside the Arabic, it's qaf, lam, ba, ya, ta, marbuta. So it's qaf, lam, ba, ya, ta, marbuta. That's inside of the Arabic language. That's the proper spelling. Inside of English, however you think it sounds. There's no right or wrong way in English. However it sounds to you, write like that. So if you want to write Qalbiyy, AH, whatever, then that's fine. Or you want to, whatever, that's fine. As long as you know what you mean. Like it, as long as you know what you mean. You don't want to come back to your notes later and you're saying to yourself, what that supposed to say? You wrote the note, you should know. Allah Ta'ala. طيب خير. So I want you to write ibadah qalbiyah, because the Shaykh, he brings examples of, and the ibadah qalbiyah is the ibadah of the qalb. What does qalb mean? Heart. Naam. So the ibadah of the qalb, the Shaykh, he brings examples. It's like khawf, fear, raja, hope, muhabba, to love, to put one's trust and reliance upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to have hope and a longing for and fear. You need to have a hope for the reward of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to have a fear from His punishment. But all of this is from what type? Is the ibadah of what? Qalbiyah. Naam. Qalbiyah. And that ibadah as qalbiyah, it comes from where? The heart, or the, how you say heart in Arabic? Qalb. Naam. Then the Shaykh, he mentions, he says, and then you have والتسبيح والتهليل والتكبير نعم والحمد والشكر باللسان والإيش والقلب باللسان والقلب. Now I want you to write another type. You have the ibadah of the lisan and the qalb. We know what qalb means, right? Qalb is what? Heart. What does lisan mean? Tongue. Naam. Hasan. So now we have, this is the next one I want you to put, the ibadah of the lisan and the qalb. The ibadah of the lisan and of the qalb. And then the Shaykh, he brings examples for this. He says this is like tasbih. This is like to say subhanallah, and like to say la ilaha illallah, and like to say Allahu Akbar, and like to praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by saying alhamdulillah. Naam. And to make shukr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is done by what? By the tongue and by the heart. This is done and expressed by what? By the tongue and by the heart. Naam. And this will be the ibadah of what? Ibadah lisaniyya qalbiyya. So I want you to write ibadah lisaniyya, right? And in Arabic it's spelled lam, sin, alif, noon, ya, ta marbuta. And qalbiyya, you already know how it's spelled. So ibadah, and ibadah is spelled ain, ba, alif, dal, ta marbuta. Again, ain, ba, alif, dal, ta marbuta. And lisaniyya is spelled lam, sin, alif, noon, ya, ta marbuta. And qalbiyya, you already know how it's spelled. So it's ibadah lisaniyya qalbiyya. Lisaniyya qalbiyya. And examples of that? What's the examples? Give me 2 examples of the ibadah lisaniyya qalbiyya. Now, every person raise a hand, I get 2 examples. Now, to make shukr of Allah. Nah, that's one. What's another one? An example? Think of something that's lisaniyya qalbiyya. No. Lisaniyya qalbiyya.
That one is it has both of
No, that's qalbiyya. We want lisan and qalb together.
Oh, together?
Yeah. The Shaykh, he just mentioned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 examples. Nah, I just want 2. 2 of the 5. Nah. Help him out. He said, the one he said was to be thankful. Praising Allah. Give me an example. How you praise Allah? By saying what? Subhanallah. Nah. What's another example? Nah.
That was mine.
We'll pick 2 more of the other 3. Nope. Yeah, man, he fell in the hole. Don't jump in it. By saying Allahu Akbar. Okay, that's 1. 2. La ilaha illallah. Naam. Tayyib.
Ain't that the same thing as praising Allah?
Well, no. The Shaykh, he brought a specific example of saying Subhanallah. No. That's why I told him, give me an example. Give me an example. Right. We try to bring like a general, statement. Which is not. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. But yeah. Alright. So the qalbiyya, it happens where? Only in the heart. Like, to be, two examples. Like what?
Fear.
Fear and hope. Tayyib. And the lisaniyya, qalbiyya, it happens where? On the tongue and in the heart. And that's like what? To say subhanallah or alhamdulillah, la ilaha illallah, na'am, hakada. Tayyib. So the next one, the Shaykh he mentions, he says, you have an ibadah that is badaniyya, qalbiyya. You have an ibadah that is badaniyya, and badaniyya is ba, dal, noon, ya, ta marbuta, and qalbiyya, you already know how to spell. So you have an ibadah badaniyya, ba, dal, noon, ya, ta marbuta, and then qalbiyya. Naam, ibadah badaniyya, qalbiyya. طيب. And then the Shaykh Hafidhullah Ta'ala, he brings examples of this. He says that the ibadah that is badaniyya, qalbiyya, طيب, badaniyya, because we already spoke about the heart. We spoke about the heart and the tongue. So now what's left? The heart and the limbs. Naam. So the badaniyya means the badan, the body. So now it's talking about the limbs, the badan, the body. Naam. The ibadah that a person do with his body. طيب. The examples the Shaykh he brings for this, he said, is like as-salat, because the salat you have motions with your body, right? And zakat, because the zakat you have to make physical motions to give the charity. Wal hajj, naam, wal jihad, naam. All of these are examples of ibadah badaniyya qalbiyya, naam. That makes sense? Naam. So the ibadah that's badaniyya qalbiyya is like what? Give me one. One of the 1, 2, 3, 4. One of the 4. Salat. Another one. Zakat. Another one. Jihad. Another one. Hajj. Naam. Tayyib. Give me 2 examples of qalbiyya. Is like khawf. Another one. Same thing he said. Khashya. Naam. Alhamdulillah. Tayyib.
What about trust?
يعني توكل يعني putting place and trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nah, that's there. Nah. طيب. Give me 2 examples of lisaniyya qalbiyya. Not making dhikr. So saying subhanallah, making takbir, saying Allahu Akbar. What else? No. Saying la ilaha illallah. Naam. Mumtaz. طيب. What is qalbi? What does qalb mean? Qalbiyya, what that mean? Heart. طيب. Lisaniyya, because it comes from where? They're talking about the lisan. Okay, what about badaniyya? The limbs, because what the badan it means? Body. Nah, badan it means body. طيب. The Shaykh goes on and he says, إِلَّا غَيْرِ ذَلِكَ مِنْ أَنْوَاعِ عِبَادَةٍ. He said, until other than that, from the categories of ibadah التي تجري على القلب, those categories of worship. Oh, I'm supposed to say that, right? Nah, afwan. Those from the categories of al-ibadah. Nah. On which they will take place upon the qalb and the lisan and the jawarih. Nah, and jawarih, it means the limbs, right? وهي كثيرة. And the Shaykh says that there are many. There are many types of many anwa' of al-ibadah. طيب. Makes sense? واضح? طيب. And then the Shaykh he mentions, he says, وَالْعِبَادَةِ هِيَ الَّتِي خَلَقَ اللَّهُ الْخَلْقَ مِنْ أَجْلِهَا. And the ibadah, it is the reason that Allah He created the creation. The ibadah is the reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the creation. What dalil, and the proof of this is what? Who knows the proof? Huh? Nah. طيب. That's chapter and verse. Excellent. What's the verse?
57.
No, like recite the verse. You gave me the reference. Chapter and verse. Does anyone know? Nah.
Can I read it or?
No, I want to see who got it with them all the time. And here. I want to see who got it. No. No.
وما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون.
نعم أحسنت يا عبد السلام ما شاء الله. وما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون. I want everyone to go memorize it. That's homework. I want everybody to memorize it. Naam. Alhamdulillah, you gave me the chapter and the verse, and now you can't front and be like, I couldn't find it. You know exactly where it's at. Alhamdulillah. But Allah Ta'ala, He says in the ayat after that, Allah Ta'ala, He says, ما أريد منهم من رزق وما أريد أن يطعمون إن الله هو الرزاق ذو القوة المتين. Allah Ta'ala, He says after the ayah 56, وما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون, I did not create the jinn or the mankind except for them to worship me. Then Allah Ta'ala, He says, and I do not want nor need any type of provisions, nor do I need for them to give me food. Naam. Verily Allah, He is the one who provides, and He is the one who is the owner of great might. He is the one who is the owner of great might. And this is from 56 to 58. Naam. The Shaykh, he says, فأخبر سبحانه وتعالى أن الحكمة من الخلق الجن والإنس هي قيامهم بعبادة الله. So Allah Ta'ala, He informs us in this ayah, or in these ayat, that the hikmah, the reason for the creation of the jinn and of the ins. We know what jinn means, right? Jinn is who? Jinn. Jinn, right? That's like a trick question. Jinn is jinn, right? Jinn is jinn. That's the best way to say it. Jinn is jinn. Okay. Well, ins. What's ins? Mankind, human beings. Naam. Tayyib. Allah Ta'ala created the jinn and the mankind so that they may establish the worship of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. That's one of the things we learn from these ayat, these three ayat. Okay, where is the proof, or where is the shahid, where is the point of reference inside of these three ayat for this point? Where's the point of reference? And which ayah? The question is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inside of these ayat, He has informed us that the purpose and the wisdom for the creation of the jinn and the human beings was to establish the ibadah for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In which ayah do we learn that from? Which ayah?
56.
From 56, which is وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. 56. And I did not create the jinn or the mankind except for them to worship me. Naam. And Allah Ta'ala, He informs us, وَاللَّهُ غَنِيٌّ عَنْ عِبَادَتِهِمْ. And Allah Ta'ala, He informs us that what? That Allah is rich. He don't need our worship. Allah lets us know He doesn't need our worship at all. He don't need our worship. Which ayah can we find the dalil for this, that Allah don't need our worship?
57.
In 57. And that is that Allah Ta'ala says, مَا أُرِيدُ مِنْهُمْ مِنْ رِزْقٍ وَمَا أُرِيدُ أَن يُطْعِمُونَ. Allah Ta'ala, He says, I don't need for them any type of provisions, nor do I need for them to feed me. So Allah Ta'ala tells us in the most clearest of terms that He does not need our ibadah. Allah does not need our ibadah. Who needs our ibadah? Who needs it? We do. The slaves. We need to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Well, here. Also, Allah Ta'ala, He informs us, إِنَّمَا هُمُ الْمُحْتَاجُونَ إِلَيْهَا لِفَقْرِهِمْ إِلَى اللَّهِ تَعَالَى. Allah Ta'ala also informs us that verily the jinn and the human beings, they're the ones who need to worship Allah Ta'ala because they are in need of Allah and they are poor and they are impoverished unto Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. They are poor and impoverished unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And which ayah is dalil for this that we understand this from? Is from which ayah? 58. And that is in Allah Ta'ala's statement, Inna Allah huwa razaq. Allah Ta'ala, He says, verily Allah, He is the one who provides. Allah provides. The human beings, the jinn, they need provisions. Who gives those provisions? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah Ta'ala, He says, and then He is the owner of great might. He is the owner of great might. Naam. This is very important that we know, we understand this reality that we are the ones who we need to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah Ta'ala, He does not need anything for us. He does not need anything from us. Naam. And that the purpose for which we were created, then this is for what? To establish the ibadah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. And then the Shaykh, Hafidhullah ta'ala, because the Shaykh Salih al-Fawzan, Hafidhullah ta'ala, he is an outstanding teacher. Outstanding. Hafidhullah ta'ala. He makes it so clear, right? So easy to understand, yani. MashaAllah. So the Shaykh, he brings up some scenarios. The Shaykh, Hafidhullah ta'ala, he brings up some scenarios. So I want everyone to get these scenarios down. The Shaykh, he says, فَيَعْبُدُونَ عَلَى وَفْقِ شَرِيعَتِهِ. So they worship Allah Ta'ala and that which complies to His Sharia. They worship Allah and that which complies to His Sharia, to His legislative law. And then the Shaykh, he brings up some examples or some scenarios. He says, فَمَنْ أَبَى أَنْ يَعْبُدَ اللَّهِ. So whoever he refuses. Naam. فَمَنْ أَبَى أَنْ يَعْبُدَ اللَّهِ. Whoever refuses to worship Allah. That's the first scenario. The one who refuses to worship Allah. First scenario, the one who refuses to worship Allah. Because the human beings, as it relates to ibadah, when it comes to ibadah, the human beings and the jinn, they're going to fall into one of these scenarios. The first one, those who refuse to worship Allah. They refuse. Khair. This one is mustakbir. This one is arrogant. This one, he's what? Arrogant. Now, this one is arrogant. Now, as Allah Ta'ala tells about the shaitan, Aba wastakbara wa kana min al-kafirin. He refused and he was arrogant and he was from the kuffar. He refused and he was arrogant and he was from the who? The kuffar. Naam. He was from the kuffar. Tayyib. So the one who refuses to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's one scenario. Another scenario, another probability would be what? Man abadahu wa abada ma'ahu ghayrah. The one who worships Allah, but then he worships along with Allah other than Allah. Because there are going to be some who worship Allah, but then at the same time they're going to worship other than Allah. Like they're going to pray to a saint who's dead in the grave, or they're going to pray to an angel, or to a prophet, or to a rock, a stone, a statue, the sun, the moon, so on and so forth. So they may worship Allah sometimes, but in other times they're worshiping other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is not acceptable. Because the one who does this, then he is going to be a mushrik. He's a mushrik. You see? Because when it comes to ibadah, depending upon what you do, you're going to take one of the memes. You're going to take one of the memes. But there's only one meme, or there's only one meme that's right. Or, right? One category of memes that's right. So the first one was what? Mustakbir. Naam, don't want to be that. Don't want to be arrogant. The second one is what? The second meme is what? Mushrik. Mushrik. The person who makes shirk, a polytheist. One who associates partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. that meme also is what? Not acceptable. Not acceptable. Not acceptable. But then you got other ones, another scenario. Man abadallah wahda. They worship Allah alone. You with me? These ones, they don't make shirk. They worship Allah alone. However, بغير ما شرع. But they worship Allah alone, but with other than what He has legislated. So they worship Allah alone, but they worship Allah upon other than Allah's legislation. They worship Allah upon other than Allah's legislation. And this also is what? Another meme. Another meme. And that meme, the Shaykh, he says, فَهُوَ مُبْتَدِعٍ. In this one, he's a what? A mubtadi'. He's an innovator. Mubtadi'. And this meme also is what? Not acceptable. Not acceptable. You see? And in these first three memes that was mentioned, these are the memes the shaitan try to get you to do. If he can't make you just straight up disbelieve, if he can't get you just to straight up disbelieve and turn your back and be mustakbir, then what does he do? He gets you to become a mushrik. If he can't get you not to worship Allah at all, and a person saying no, but I really want to worship Allah, he says okay, then worship along with Allah other than Allah. He should be a mushrik. Right? If he can't get you to be a mushrik, and a person is saying, no, I just want to worship Allah alone. I don't want to worship other stuff. I just want to worship Allah. See, the shaitan got a trick for him too. He said, okay, no problem. We'll just worship Allah upon bid'ah. Do bid'ah. That's fine. You can worship Allah alone, but just do it upon bid'ah. See, these three, the shaitan, he like these ones. If he can't get you with one, he'll try for another one. And the shaitan, he don't care which one he gets you with. He don't care which one he gets you with. As long as he gets you one of them, he don't care. Because they all are destructive ways and destructive paths. They're all destructive ways and destructive paths. So this brings it down to the fourth scenario. And as the Shaykh, he says, Man abadahu wahda bima shara'. The one who worships Allah alone with that which Allah has legislated. So this one is also a meme, or in this case, two memes. Right? And this one, he is al-mu'min al-muwahid. He is a mu'min and he is muwahid. He is one who implements and establishes Tawheed. So he's a believing monotheist. And these are the memes you want to be a mu'min muwahid. Naam. And the way that you become a mu'min muwahid, this is by worshiping Allah alone, by that which He has legislated. And this is the one, the shaitan, he don't want you to do this one. He don't want you to do this one. Naam. Shaitan, he hate that one. And shaitan is our enemy. So we don't want to do anything, make our enemy happy, what he like, forget him. Right? Because we have to strive to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to do that which Allah loves and that which Allah is pleased with. And that is what? Tawheed wa sunnah. Naam. Tayyib? That makes sense? Khair. So now the Shaykh hafidhullah ta'ala, he wants to mention anwa' al-ibadah wa shumuluha. He wants to mention now the categories of ibadah and that which is comprised, or that which may also enter into it in a general sense, or and that which may also fall under its umbrella, although it may not be seemingly to be from it. If that makes any sense, right? Because this is understood by the title, but it's very difficult to articulate that in English. But it'll make more sense, when we get to the end, what is intended. Because we're talking about ibadah, and then those other things that are also will fall under the umbrella of ibadah, although they may not seem to be from ibadah. Right? Inshallah, it'll make more sense. But the Shaykh, he says, Al-ibadah laha anwa' kathira. The ibadah, it has many different categories. Many different categories. وهي تشمل كل أنواع الطاعات الظاهرة على اللسان والجوارح وصادرة عن القلب. The Shaykh, he says it has many different categories which are encompassed and included under everything or every type of obedience. Every type of obedience that is apparent upon the tongue and upon the limbs, and that which emanates from the heart. And that which emanates from the heart. And then the Shaykh, Hafidhullah Ta'ala, he brings examples. He brings examples, right? He doesn't leave it to the student to try to figure out, well, what is from that category, but he brings examples. He says, كَذِكْر, like making dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, wa tasbih, and saying subhanallah, wa tahleel, and saying la ilaha illallah, wa tilawatul Qur'an, and reciting the Qur'an, wa salat, wa zakat, wa siyam, wa hajj, wa jihad, wa amru bil ma'ruf, wa nahi anil munkar, wal ihsan ila al aqarib, wal yatama, wal masakin, wa ibn sabil. Naam. وكذلك حب الله والرسول والخشية الله وخشية الله والإنابة إليه والإخلاص الدين له والصبر لحكمه والرضا بقضائه والتوكل عليه والرجاء لرحمته والخوف من عذابه. فهي شاملة لكل تصرفات المؤمن. نعم. The Shaykh, he says, bringing some examples, he says, and this is like to make dhikr of Allah, and to say subhanallah, and to say la ilaha illallah, and to recite the Qur'an, and to pray, to establish the prayer, and to pray, and to give zakat, and to fast, and to make hajj, and to make jihad, and to call to good, command to good, and forbid the evil, and to be nice to one's relatives, and to be nice to the orphans, and to the people who are poor, and to the wayfarer who has lost, what do you say? He's in a bad situation, a traveler who finds himself inside of a bad situation. And also to love Allah and His Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and to have khashya for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to have the knowledge-based fear for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to return repentively to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to be sincere, to make all of your religion sincere to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to be patient to the rulings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to love the judgments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to love the judgments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All of this enters into ibadah. To love Allah, to love the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to love the rules of Al-Islam, to be pleased with the judgments of Al-Islam. All of this enters into ibadah. All of this enters into al-ibadah. To be nice to one's relatives, to be nice to the orphans, to be nice to the poor people and the wayfarer, and to establish the prayer and all of these things. All of this is from the anwa' of ibadah. Now, the Shaykh, he says, and to hope in the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to fear the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then all of this, it enters into what? Al-ibadah. All of this, it enters into al-ibadah. The Shaykh, he says, and thus you find that ibadah, it is that which will encompass everything that a Muslim does. Right? Or from another way we can say, in that you will find that ibadah, it could encompass everything a Muslim does. Everything a believer does, right, can enter into ibadah. You with me? Because these things that we mentioned, this is clear. This is ibadah. This is ibadah. Naam. طيب. Shaykh Fawzan, Hafidhullah Ta'ala, is about to teach you something that is a life changer. It's a life changer. Because the Shaykh, Hafidhullah Ta'ala, is about to teach you how you can turn your whole life into ibadah. How you can turn everything you do into ibadah. Everything. Right? Person saying, what you mean everything? Everything. The Shaykh, he says, so you will find that everything that the Muslim does, everything that the believer does, could fall under the category of ibadah. The Shaykh, he says, إِذَا نَوَى بِهَا الْقُرْبَةِ أَوْ مَا يُعَيِّنُ عَلَيْهَا. This is the key right here. He says, a Muslim could turn everything that he do into ibadah if he intends by those things to draw near to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or that he utilizes those things in order to help him and to strengthen him to do the ibadah. He utilizes those things, he intends to utilize those things to help him and to strengthen him into doing the ibadah. Now, the Shaykh, he says, hatta al-adat, he said, until even the everyday ordinary things, إِذَا قَصَدَ بِهِ التَّقَوِّي عَلَى طَاعَةٍ, he said, if a person intends by way of them to strengthen him for worship, then it will be ibadah. The Shaykh, he says, for example, na'am, كَالنَّوْمِ, like sleep. Do you understand that? Because you have to sleep anyway. But the Shaykh is saying that you can turn your sleep into ibadah. From your sleeping, you can get reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, and this was the what? And this is why we, Ahlul Sunnah. You have to love Ahlul Sunnah. Loving Ahlul Sunnah is from ibadah. Loving Ahlul Sunnah is from ibadah. Because you're loving those whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He loves. Those who are implementing the Tawheed and obeying the commands of His Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. These are those whom Allah ta'ala loves. So you loving them is what? Is ibadah. Now we have to love Ahlul Sunnah. But we love Ahlul Sunnah because Ahlul Sunnah, they're upon the way that's the haqq. They're upon the way that's Salaf. Because look at what the Shaykh, he mentions. He says like sleep. And then we have Hudhayfa radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. And Hudhayfa was who? Was Sahabi. Now, what did Hudhayfa say? Hudhayfa said, إني أحتسب من نومتي كما أحتسب من قومتي. Hudhayfa radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, because he understood this point, he understood this reality. You understand? Like Shaykh Fawzan is not getting this stuff from himself, but this is that which we learned from who? From the Sahaba, who learned it from who? From the Prophet ﷺ, who what? It was revealed to him from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, Hudhayfa radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, he said, I anticipate to be rewarded for my sleep the same way I anticipate to be rewarded for my standing up at night. You understand that? He said, I look forward to the reward I get for sleeping, like I look forward to the reward I get for standing up at night. Why? Because Hudhayfa radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, he would sleep at night only to refresh himself and strengthen him to do more ibadah. So therefore his sleep, because it was that which aided him and strengthened him for more ibadah, was thus what? Ibadah. Was thus ibadah. So now his sleeping is ibadah. You understand? Now how tremendous is that? How much of a ni'mah is that? Because no matter what you do, you're going to get sleep, you're going to fall asleep. Either way, you're going to go to sleep, right? Either way, you're going to go to sleep. So now we can use that opportunity that's going to happen to us anyway, because we forced, we got to go to sleep, into what? Into being something in which you can be rewarded for. But it's all depending upon what? Upon your niyyah, upon your intentions. Upon your intentions. So if you intend by your sleep that which strengthens you to get up and do more ibadah, then that sleep becomes ibadah, and a person, he'll be rewarded for his sleep. The Shaykh, he says, wal akil, and also eating, wal shurb, and drinking. Eating and drinking. Either way, you got to eat and drink, right? You have to eat and drink either way. But if your intention in eating and drinking is so that it can strengthen the body, get it the nutrients that it needs to refresh it, revitalize it, and so on and so forth, to make it more stronger, to do what? More ibadah. So a person, he eating and drinking to make himself strong so he can do more ibadah. So now his eating and drinking becomes for him ibadah. Now he gets rewarded for eating and drinking. Not like the one who's just a gluttonous and he's a food enthusiast and he's just eating because of the all that stuff, the taste and all of that. So that's all he's eating for. This one, he'll get nothing. Whatever taste he get, food, whatever, and that's it. He get. That's it. But now for the mu'min, and this is why you see for the mu'min it's all good. The mu'min, he intends by way of the eating and the drinking to what? To strengthen himself so that he may worship Allah Ta'ala more. But so he gets rewarded by Allah Ta'ala. And at the same time, you find that if it tastes good, it tastes good. So now he still benefits from the flavor. He still benefits from the refreshment of the drink or the flavor of the drink and so on and so on. He still benefits from those things, the flavor of it and how it tastes and whatever. He still benefits from that stuff. And at the same time, he gets rewarded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You can't beat that, can you? How you going to beat that? You enjoy the meal, it tastes good to you, mashallah. You lick your fingers at the end of it, right? At the end, you lick your fingers before you wipe them, because this is the sunnah. You lick your fingers before you wipe them. Don't just eat and then, wipe your hand. No, lick it. I don't care where you at. If you in public, lick your finger. Show the people the sunnah. This is the sunnah. Now, lick your finger and then wipe it off. Lick it and wipe it off. Now, so a person, he practices the sunnah. A person, he intends to strengthen his body so he may worship Allah Ta'ala more. He gets rewarded. And at the same time, he enjoyed the flavor of meal. MashaAllah. Now, the Shaykh, he says, وَالْبَيْعِ وَالشَّرَاء. He said, in buying and selling. In buying and selling. If a person buys and sells so as to strengthen him so he can do what he got to do, this is ibadah. He buys and he sells so it can help him in worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and aid and assist him in worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then this what? He gets rewarded for it. You have to buy and sell stuff anyway, right? But this person is buying and selling for what? So as to aid him in being obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Shaykh says, وَطَلَبُ الرِّزْقِ, and seeking provisions, seeking halal provisions. This can become an ibadah, because a person, why a person seek halal provisions? What should be, or what is the intention of the mu'min? He seek the halal provisions so that he may do that which Allah has commanded him to do with the money. See, in order to do that which Allah commands you to do with the money, then you gotta what? You gotta get out there and seek the risk. You gotta seek the money. Allah Ta'ala commanded you to what? To take care of your wife, take care of your children. You gotta take care of them, right? In order to take care of them, then you have to what? You have to seek for provisions so that you may feed them, clothe them, put roof in their head and stuff like that. Now, but this is going to require from you what? Money. So if a person intends by getting out there and looking for a job or starting a business and buying and selling and so on and so forth, so that he may fulfill the commands that Allah Ta'ala has put upon him as relates to money, then this for him is what? Ibadah, and he gets what? Rewarded for it. Gets rewarded by Allah Ta'ala for it. Now, Allah Ta'ala, he commands us to what? To spend in his way, to spend from that which he has given us. In order for a person to pay zakat, to give sadaqah, then he has to what? He has to have something to what? To give away. So he goes out and he looks for provisions, and going out and looking for provisions and looking for halal livelihood and so on and so forth, then he can give sadaqah, then he can give zakat. So he's doing that, he's working at overtime and stuff like that. So what? So he can give more in charity. He can give more in for zakat. So this person benefits. He gets rewarded for that now. Because he's only doing it what? So that he may do that which Allah Ta'ala has commanded him to do from the spinning in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is tremendous, right? Do you understand? And this is why the ulama, they mention that if the kuffar really know what the Muslim had, they will fight us for it, even militarily, to get it from us. If they know what we really, if they really know what the believers had, they will fight them for it, so that they can get it, even militarily. They will fight them for it, because you're in a situation that, subhanallah, is blessed. Your whole life can be ibadah. That's tremendous. Now, and the Shaykh, he says, when nikah, and getting married. A person gets married. Naam. And this becomes what? Ibadah for that person. Because he's getting married so he can lower his gaze, guard his private parts, so he can fulfill the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this becomes what? Ibadah. This is ibadah for him. Because of what? His intention is he's getting married for what? So he can fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not just because, oh, she looks so good, or he's so handsome, or yani whatever. So I want to marry the person. No. To fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you can fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then on top of that, you see how it's all good for the Muslim. He gets married because he wants to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But then the one who he marries is one who's pleasing to him. Or the one who she marries is one who's pleasing to her. Is one who they like each other's personalities, they enjoy each other's company, so on and so forth. So they reap all the rewards of that, enjoying of each other's personalities. Each one of them is something good for the other one of them to look at, and so on and so forth. And they enjoy it from that, from the visual perspective, and so on and so forth. And because they're doing it to fear Allah Ta'ala, to help them better lower their gaze and guard their private part, then they get what? Rewarded. And they benefit from other things that it can be benefited from. And even the Prophet ﷺ told us, even having relations with the spouse, a person, he gets what? He gets rewarded for this. And the Sahaba, they were amazed. They said, a man, he will fulfill his desires and he gets rewarded. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, if he had fulfilled his desires in a haram way, would he be punished? And they said, Naam. He said, and likewise, when they fulfill him in a halal way, he gets rewarded. Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Do you understand? This is tremendous now. Even a man fulfilling of his desires, if he do it in the right way, a woman fulfilling her desires, if she do it in the right way, then they get a reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because what? Because their niyyah, their intention is what? Is they doing this so as to fulfill the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so as to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so as to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So even these everyday things become what? Ibadah. Become ibadah. Now, so now that makes the chapter title make a little more sense now, right? Now, the Shaykh, he says, and he ends off this chapter, he says, فَإِنَّ هَذِهِ عَادَاتٍ مَعَ النِّيَّةِ الصَّالِحَةِ تَصِيرُ عِبَادَاتٍ. He said, so therefore, these everyday things, as long as they got the right intention, the righteous intention, then they will become ibadat. They will become actions of ibadah. Now, and the Shaykh, he says, وَيُثَابُ عَلَيْهَا. And a person, he will be rewarded for it. He'll be rewarded for it. Now, he get good deeds for it. Get good deeds for it. Now, and the Shaykh, he says, وَلَيْسَتْ الْعِبَادَةِ قَاصِرَةً عَلَى شَعَائِرِ الْمَعْرُوفَةِ. He said, al-ibadah is not restricted to just those well-known traits of Islam. Meaning that the ibadah is not restricted to just calling the adhan, establishing of the prayer, fasting of Ramadan, paying of zakat, making the hajj and the umrah, and so on and so forth. It's not just restricted to that, but that enters into it, and also everyday things, as long as the intention is correct and is proper. A person is doing it, so that it may aid him and fulfilling the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A person is seeking by way of it to draw near to Allah ta'ala, because it's that would strengthen him and to help him or her into doing the ibadah for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So then these everyday things themselves will become ibadah, because the person, he goes to them from the intention of helping, using them to help him with his ibadah, so they become ibadah and he gets rewarded. So this is how the believer, he could turn his whole life into ibadah. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Naam. And then this brings us now to the next chapter. ولكن نتوقف هنا. We're going to stop here. فنكتفي بهذا القدر. وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.